Hi, I'm Barbara Wainwright. I'm the CEO and founder of Wainwright Global Institute of Professional Coaching. And I'm here with Louise Motuzas, and I'm excited to introduce you to her. Louise Motuzas is the founder of Thrive Business Consulting. She and her husband have just celebrated 10 years of helping business owners increase their business valuation and plan their exit. Louise is a certified exit planner advisor and a certified value builder. Her business career started in the banking and insurance industry. She enjoyed various roles, including sales and marketing, consumer loans, mortgages, administration, and management, which gave her a wealth of experience and a solid common sense approach to business and personal matters. She used her successful business background to create a multi-million-dollar company from the ground floor up, which her husband and she ran for 17 years before successfully selling. As an owner-manager, she excelled in sourcing the best suppliers, negotiating optimal credit from banks and suppliers, keeping accounts receivables in line, managing employees, keeping a strong focus on profitability, and representing their company both locally and internationally. She's a lifelong learner, spending at least 5 hours a week on professional development. She's an avid networker, connector, and a generous referrer. She is client-focused and an abundance thinker. So I'm so happy to introduce you to Louise. Welcome, Louise. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, Barb. I'm really pleased to be able to speak to all of your members.
Yes, well, it's just an honor to have you here with your wealth of knowledge and experience, and for us to be able to provide some value to this community is very important to me. So, woohoo! The first thing I'd like to ask is, what made you decide to become a business consultant in the first place?
Well, I've sometimes called myself an Andy consultant because we had several consultants over those 17 years, and we really weren't happy with any of them. And they charged a lot of money, but they never really gave us any value. And so when Len and I decided to sell our business, we realized we had so much to offer other people. So it took time. We took about 6 months off to decompress from owning the business we had owned. And in that time, we took courses on how to be successful consultants. And so we came out with what's been very well received by small business owners, because we've been there in the trenches. So we can empathize with them. And we are results oriented instead of telling them what to do and leaving them with a big manual to do it.
Why? That's so important. So it's really brilliant that you have such a great business background, especially in the banking industry. It gives you a lot of information on credit and getting loans and helping to build, and what does a company look, or I guess what does the bank look for in terms of valuation of the companies and all that kind of thing. So your background is like excellent for jumping into a business and helping other companies build their valuation, and if they want to, plan to exit. So what motivates you to help business owners get the best financial and personal outcome when they exit their business?
Well, I think we all know that most small business owners have put their whole risk everything for their business. And the reason I came up with the name Thrive is because you shouldn't just be surviving. You need to be thriving. And it's really important to me that you have a very positive outcome at the end of your time with that business.
Absolutely. So important to be able to get something out of it. I mean, I'm sure that people, and when they're owning their own business, I'm sure there's a lot of benefits emotionally and just, being of service to people and that type of thing. But to be able to also leave with a financial reward at the end of it would be very important, I would imagine. So I understand that you're an expert, and you said certified with Valuebuilder tools. I don't know what Valuebuilder tools are. So if you could explain a little bit about the Valuebuilder tools and how you use them to help owners get ready for that transition.
Well, there was a book written by John Warflow, and it was called Built to Sell. And he is the one that is the founder of the Valuebuilder system. And what it is it's a series of technical tools to help you determine if you're ready to leave a business, if it's financially. So if you're ready emotionally to leave, but also there's a freedom score. Are you ready financially to leave? And then there's also something called the Valuebuilder score, which actually shows the present state of your business. And he has 8 drivers to success. So it will show those 8 drivers, and it will have the present state of your business. And if you give the financials of the last 3 years, it will also have an estimate of value of your business present day. And it will show you if your score were higher, because we find that people to get a score of 80 or more get 5 to 7 times the multiple for their businesses as other people would. So it gives you, so you can look at that and say, okay, I want out right away, and this is what I should be able to get from my business right away. But if I was prepared to put in the time and the effort, I can get to this and make a lot more money.
That's so interesting. So it's a business valuation. So it says Valuebuilder, but I mean, what does that mean? It's a business evaluation tool that will help identify areas that a person could improve on, a company owner could improve on areas in their company that would provide more value when they get ready to sell the business.
Yes, because Valuebuilder looks at, and I, as a certified exit planning advisor and a Valuebuilder, I look at your business as if I were the buyer, rather than looking at it from your lens. I look at it from the lens of what's attractive to a buyer.
Excellent, excellent. That makes so much sense. So my next question is kind of interesting. Do you see a need for leadership coaching when you're doing this kind of work?
And absolutely, and that's why when we connected, I could see a synergy there, because we are not leadership coaches. We really aren't coaches. We're trusted advisors, but we're advising on the business. And very often our leaders have, well, I think that they have some trash in their heads that needs to be identified and solved. So sometimes, we can't have the success we want to have because these people have some stinking thinking.
Okay, that makes yeah, that makes sense. And I could see being very passionate about your company and not wanting to hear, oh well, you could absolutely improve if you did. It's like, wait a minute, I've been doing my business for years and years and years. What are you talking about? So I could see how some people might be offended by some of the recommendations, right? And so coaching would be, well, isn't this important to you? You'd be asking those very appropriate questions to get them to think differently.
Exactly. And if you have a transition from a father to a son, for example, very often what you have is that father's voice in their head. And although we try to get them on board, it would be really helpful to have somebody that's actually helping with the leadership coaching, and that would help us do a better job for them.
That makes a whole lot of sense. So do you offer coaching then to your clients?
No, not really. I haven't yet found anybody that I could try. Well, I am a generous referrer, but I'm not going to refer if I feel that you're going to try to take my business away from me. So at this point, I really have not found somebody, and I'm looking for people that are leadership coaches and would help with the person, and I carry on helping with the business. So we would collaborate with each other.
That makes a whole lot of sense. So it would be great if somebody watching this video, for instance, who is great with working with leaders and business owners from the aspect of coaching, but definitely not from the aspect of consulting, right?
Yes,
and if there's somebody's already doing coaching and consulting, I'm sure they have their own clientele that they're already working with and that kind of thing anyway. So it sounds like a really appropriate fit to find somebody that is a coach, a purebred coach, as well as with your business consulting. That would be ideal for your clients. Absolutely. That makes so much sense to me. So you mentioned networking. Is that really important to you?
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have a business without networking.
I agree.
Yeah, it's so true. And yet my first real networking experience was after I'd opened Thrive, because I was so busy working in our business, which is what happens to
Yeah.
most of my clients, that I wasn't out there, you know, you know, it's been absolutely awesome. Networking either in person, my calendar's filled almost every night of the week, which is great because the events are wonderful, and LinkedIn, you know, I love LinkedIn. I've made great friends on LinkedIn.
That's really fabulous. And I agree with you about networking. It's really important. I know as an employee, when, you know, back in the day, long time ago, when I was an employee, I was so head down working on whatever I was working on that I didn't network. And then I went into consulting as a software development consultant. And it was very important to network, or you could be out of work.
Yes.
If you weren't out there networking with people that had other opportunities for you, you're done. So networking became extremely important. So I understand that too. Let's talk about referrals then, and I want to do two things, because I want to talk about your referrals, and then I want to talk about your abundance thinking, because both of those things are very, very important, I believe.
Well, exactly. And every time you do a referral, you're taking a risk. So
That's so true.
Yeah.
You need to know who it's very, very risky to refer somebody that you don't know personally, you know, and haven't spent some time with, finding out who they are, and you know, seeing the results of what they did. So I so agree with that. It's very risky.
It is risky, but it's so important. And if you are an abundance thinker, and I happen to think there's enough business for all of us out there,
Me too.
you know, then you have to, sometimes you're going to be disappointed with people, you know, but just next, I just go, you know, next and move on. But you have to take, I do get to know people a little bit, but I can't know exactly what they're doing with my clients until they actually, until I take that risk.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's important to use your intuition. To kind of use your intuition when you're meeting somebody, and how does it feel? How do you feel when you're with them? So you kind of get an idea of how your client's going to feel, and does it seem like it's a match already? You can tell, is this going to be a match for my client or not, you know? So I think those things are very important too.
Well, and our core values, like you and I, you know, we obviously have a synergy because we both care. And everybody that's a member of yours cares about a positive outcome for their clients. They care about helping people. And I need to be assured that that's the kind of person I'm going to work with. They have to be client focused.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, that's part of what I teach in the class, is that it's a client focused business. You know, it's not what you want to work on with your client. It's what does your client want to work on?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And you got to care. You got to really care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I want to talk a little bit more about the Valuebuilder software. It just sounds so interesting. Are there, like, I think you mentioned there was 8 different categories that the Valuebuilder, would you mind sharing about that?
Oh, yes, sure. I'm just trying to remember. I hope I'm going to remember them all.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so there is well, the biggest one we come across all the time is called Hub and Spoke.
Okay.
And that's where all of the people in your business, they have to come to you. You're a micromanager.
Oh,
And
wow.
everything goes through you.
Okay.
That's not very attractive when you're selling your business.
No, because now you're the bottleneck, and everybody's going to be counting on you. And what happens when you step away? Everybody's going to be lost.
Exactly. So the hub and spoke, one of the things that we emphasize is to get out of that model of managing. We actually want someone to feel that they can leave the business for 3 months and it's going to carry on without them.
That's perfect. I get that. 3 months. Okay.
Then we have something like the Switzerland structure. Well, Switzerland wants to be an independent nation, and what we're getting at there is that we want you to be not to be dependent on one supplier or one employee or one customer. So you don't want to have more than, like, for example, a customer that's greater than 15% of your revenue.
Okay. Makes
And
sense.
there
Yeah.
are a lot of businesses that are 50-60% reliant on one customer, or maybe
Yeah.
they have only one supplier. And what happens if that supplier is no longer available? And how about that key employee that you think that your life will end if you lose that employee? So, all of these things, it's not just to build your business so it's more attractive for sale. It's to build your business so it's more fun to live in it. Because when you're
Yes.
relying on just one customer and relying on one employee, it's not a fun way to live.
No, that's
You
very
know,
precarious. It kind of sounds like you're in a lot of jeopardy if you are running your business that way.
exactly. So that's two of the key. There are six more, but
Yeah, well, we don't need to go into all of them, but just those two,
those are the two big ones. We
right?
see
And that
those
gives
all the time.
you
Yeah.
that gives you a very clear picture into the importance of value builder, number one,
Yes.
and number two, how having you come in and consult for a business could not only increase the value of the company, which is great because if they're planning an exit, then they're going to be worth more. But it also is clear that if they brought you in to take a look, you could help them have a life outside
Yes.
the company.
Yes. They can get out and do networking.
Oh, out in networking or simply do things
Or
that they
just enjoy their life.
exactly things that they've put on the I wish I had time to do list, right?
Yes.
Yes, and that
Yes.
could be anything from writing a book to taking a trip to, traveling the world. And certainly 3 months is
Mhm.
a great amount of time to be able to travel the world and do
Okay.
all of those kinds of things. And then when you come back, you're totally fresh and ready to,
Yeah.
launch your business to the next level because you've
Yeah.
taken time for yourself. Yeah.
That's right.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, in terms of the value builder and coaches and their coaching business,
Mhm.
do you think value builder would be a help for them in their coaching business?
I think it's a help for anyone to see exactly where you're at right now. And when a third party takes a look at where you're at, you may not realize that there are things that you could be doing to make it like most people have what's called a lifestyle business. And they can have a very, very attractive lifestyle business. They've got a lovely home, they've cars, boats, whatever. They've got everything they could ever want, but they don't have something that's saleable. They didn't create an asset.
Right, right.
So what we can do is come in and see if there's something that we can do in order to make you could go from lifestyle into an asset creation, and then come up with some ideas on who might be interested in buying you, or it might even be a transition to a son or a daughter, you know.
Right, right.
But you don't want your son or daughter to transition and then fail because you didn't put a good foundation in for them.
So true, so true. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Wow. Well, that's a really good point that you make there in terms of building coaching businesses. I know I have coaches in my community that have gone on to build a coaching company. So they've hired other coaches to work for them and they've, doing executive coaching or career coaching and that type of thing. And it's really good for them. But most likely, like you said, they're like a lifestyle business where they're probably really enjoying their life. At the same time, they have this company running, which is providing a great lifestyle for them. At the same time, what happens at the end when they decide it's okay, I'm ready to move on to do something else, then
Well, when I was a lender for a bank years ago, um, I had a customer who had a very successful tool and die business. And he actually just walked away, shut the door. And it always broke my heart. And at that time, I wasn't a consultant. I had no idea I'd ever even be an entrepreneur. I was working for a bank. But it always broke my heart that he didn't offer that business to someone else that would have just taken off, like would have been the best thing in their life to be able to have that structure in place and to be able to grow the business that he had, or even if it
right,
maintained the lifestyle he had.
right,
it
right.
So I guess I was always meant to do this, but like I said, until I'd left the bank, I wasn't even an entrepreneur, let alone a consultant. So
Exactly. I get that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, wow. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with a group of coaches that you feel like would be valuable for them to be aware of?
I think that these tools I'm offering, that you're going to send an email, are very helpful for
Right.
themselves, or they can share it with their clients. And I would be really pleased to work with them, and I'd be delighted to find some leadership coaches out there that think that we could collaborate, because it would be in the best interest of their clients.
Yeah, I think that would work both ways. If you would be working with a leadership coach that has a company that could use your support,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be amazing. And vice versa. If you
Yes.
find a company that could use leadership coaching. So brilliant matchmaking there. And you mentioned that you have some tools for the coaches to check out. And I know I'm
Yeah.
going to be sharing some links. Do you want to talk about those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's one called the Freedom Score, and when people complete this, then they will have an idea of whether or not they are financially ready to leave. What will happen, like what often happens, is that what you would get for the sale of your business, and how much money you all have already saved in your life, and how much money you will need for your retirement, there will be a wealth gap. And the only way to fill that gap would be from increasing the value of your business, and so selling your business for more money. So the freedom gap would the freedom score would tell you that.
Nice.
The
Nice.
pre-score, it just gives you an idea whether you're really ready to leave. And what I love from a coaching point of view is I get to see how you feel. Like some people, they don't have any interest in keeping their employees, for example. There's other businesses that the primary concern is what will happen to my employees. So
Oh, that
this
makes
score will tell you what it kind of tells you a little bit about their character.
yes. Oh
And
my
it
goodness.
also tells about their readiness. So
Yeah.
so it really is helpful, for coaches, even if you're doing the executive coaching, to see that attitude, because a lot of us are heart-centered leaders can't even believe you wouldn't want to care about your employees. But I'm telling you, there's people out there that don't care about their employees.
That's it almost hurts my heart hearing that.
I know, me too,
And it's
me
true.
too.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
But they're there, they're there, and and so there's different. So obviously, it wouldn't matter who you sold to if they don't care about their employees. If they do care, well, then they might not make as much money, but we'll find somebody that wants to take on their employees as well. So these are things that you have to consider. And then the Value Builder score itself, that's the business. So the other two are personal. The Freedom Score tells whether you're financially ready. The Pre-score tells whether you're ready, to retire, probably more emotionally. And the Value Builder score tells whether or not you got any value in that business. And if you don't have the value, how could we improve the business to get you to where you want to be?
Excellent. That is so outstanding. It truly is. And I understand you have one more super value offer to this community, and I'm excited for anybody that would take advantage of this. So go ahead and share that one.
Well, if any members of your community complete the Value Builder score, then I will spend 2 hours with them, give them a detailed report, and go through every single driver, and give them some action steps on how they can move forward. And normally this would be a $497 value,
Absolutely.
but I'm going to offer it at $97.
So
But they have to do the score. They've got to do the score.
okay. So the Value Builder score And
Yeah.
we'll make sure that we point out that link, and then you would
Yeah.
review the results with them for $97 with 2 hours
Yeah.
of your time. It's like, yes, I can understand how that would normally be $497, hands down, no problem.
Yeah.
But for 90, so that's a screaming deal. I hope that some of you all can take advantage of that. And if not you, maybe your clients would be very interested in doing that. So there's that. All right. Thank you so much for your time,
Well,
Louise. I really appreciate you having you here. And I have a much better understanding now of why somebody would want to hire you. I mean, you provided just a ton of value, even in this interview, but I can imagine for a company going and diving deep and finding out what their needs are in terms of getting ready to exit if they are, and then having them go, you know what, this is so great, I'm not going to exit ever.
well, this is that happens all the time, Barb, all the time, that because when they decide they want to sell, they're usually burnt out.
Yeah, right.
And then when we show them how they can grow, and we take away a lot of those responsibilities so that they're not in the company so much anymore, they're working on it, not in it.
Right.
Once we do all that, often after about 90 days, we'll be asking, do you want to sell or grow? And they'll say, I want to grow.
That makes so much sense to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
because now they've got some time freedom because you've helped them in that area, and their business is growing. It's like, wait, I don't want to leave this.
Exactly. And you know what? They don't ever have to leave. Just because you planned an exit doesn't mean you ever have to leave.
I
You
love it.
can, yeah, you can carry on indefinitely.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's brilliant. Oh my gosh. Well, it's been a real pleasure and eye-opening experience for me to have this time with you. So thank you so much for your time and your wisdom. I really
Well,
appreciate it.
the pleasure has been mine. Thank you for offering me this opportunity to share with your members. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.